before your 2-minute ending will be on health care. What solutions do you propose to make health insurance more affordable and more accessible to individuals in North Carolina?
I like to read humorists when they talk about American politics, going back to Mark Twain, and I like to read P.J. O'Rourke. And on the subject of health care, he said, if you think it's expensive now, wait till you see how much it costs when it's free. And of course, his point is, if you make anything free, the supply goes up, and you get rationing, and you get mistakes, errors, etc. We have the finest healthcare system in the world in terms of development of medicine, development of procedures. It's incredible what we do. But the insurance costs which are imposed, and here I blame lawyers, first of all. A friend of mine from NC-11 is a thoracic surgeon. He no longer does any surgery. He's never lost a claim. But his insurance bill went up to $250,000 a year just to have a right to walk into an operating room with a scalpel in his hand. That's wrong. We need to squeeze the lawyers out of the process because a lot of the money is being wasted on them. If you want to have a kidney replacement, you don't want to have a lawyer attached to it when it's put into your body. And that's what's happened. If we can squeeze the lawyers and some of the bureaucrats out of the process, we have enough money to keep Americans healthy, methinks.
The healthcare system that we have is also the victim of a Congress that works for special interest groups and others with more money than we have. And over the years, we get what we got. We do have the best healthcare system in the world, but it's not designed for all Americans. And you can't get it if you're not working for a big employer who can afford to pay you or buy your healthcare policy for you. When I ran the insurance agency I mentioned, I couldn't afford healthcare coverage for the people that worked for me, or I would have gone broke the day after I bought those policies. It's impossible under the current circumstance. We should be concerned that all Americans have access to health care. The government tried to do that with Medicare on one end and S-chip on the other, but in the big middle of America, we're all in trouble. Mostly because of the way the system has evolved over the years, including frivolous lawsuits by lawyers who, we all know about that. If you have to get your insurance through big corporations, you can get it. They'll give it to you. If you work for small companies, you won't be able to get it. So there needs to be a system where small companies can pool their resources and buy health coverage that way. There needs to be portability where you can take your personal health care policy wherever you go, whoever you work for. There needs to be no government involvement where they dictate to insurance companies what coverages you have to have, even if you don't want them, so that they can drive up the cost of the policy. There needs to be some government role here for people who absolutely cannot afford for legitimate reasons. That would be like medical reasons or something, not just not wanting to work. Can't afford to buy healthcare policies. There needs to be a government public-private partnership, but we in the Congress can make that happen if we're given the opportunity.
I will start personally by promising you that I will not accept Congress's overly generous health care plan for myself until we fix this problem for the rest of America. We should not live better than the people that we serve. How do you fix it? And you don't fix it with socialized medicine and duplicating the mistakes of other countries. I've been to many of those countries, including Cuba, which is cited as a great example of how a government-run healthcare program is great. They have wonderful, well-trained physicians. They have no equipment and no medicine. What do you do? What are the constructive steps that you take? You provide tax credits for you and me to buy our own insurance policy instead of putting government in charge of it. Look at Medicare, look at Medicaid, look at any government program. Walk into the Social Security office and ask yourself if you want that bureaucracy in charge of your health care. And of course you don't. When's the last time you got a letter from the IRS? When's the last time you got a letter from the IRS you could read and decipher? Well, they should not be running our health care. What we have now is the worst of all worlds. We have a combination of socialized medicine and a free enterprise system blended up into some yucky pudding, and ladies, no reflection on any of the desserts, or yucky pudding. We should operate on the system that has made this country what it is, which is the free enterprise system. At the turn of the last century, we had more physicians per capita than we have today. We have overly regulated the profession. We should deregulate it dramatically. Is my time up?
Almost.
I want everybody to look at this guy in black here and ask yourself, am I going to ignore our timekeeper? Absolutely not. I'll stop.
This time we'll give them each of our candidates their 2-minute ending. Starting with you.
First, a brief quote from the Gospel according to John, James, and Alexander, chapter 51. John J., James Madison, Alexander Hamilton. For what is government but the greatest of all reflections on human nature? Our Constitution has survived longer than any other Constitution ever written by human beings on the planet Earth. Why? Because we got it right the second time. We failed the first time, the second time in Philadelphia. Of the 6 purposes in the preamble of the Constitution, 2 of them are right at the top of the list. Provide for the common defense and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. You have 3 candidates here, and I understand you might be about to take a straw poll. I want you to consider whether, in fact, you have only 2, because only 2 of them would vote to protect American citizens and protect this Constitution in the way it deserves. I would appreciate your support. The name is ARMOR, not spelled like the meat family, and I would appreciate your support on the 6th of May and again in November. Thank you.
I started by telling you I've never run for public office before. That means I don't have a record. The only thing you can do about my candidacy is make a judgment on whether I'm telling you like it is or not. Leadership, therefore, becomes very important. I want to leave you with 4 letters, 4 C's of leadership that I will pursue in Congress. They will be the guides for the kind of leadership you'll get out of me as a servant leader, a congressman who will serve you, the people of this district, first and foremost every day that I'm there. How about these words? Competence, commitment, character, and courage. The competence to do what the job requires on your behalf. The commitment to find out what I don't know and get to the point where I do know it if it makes a difference in the way that I do the job. The character to stand up to those who would try to subvert the honesty of the government that we all know comes from the Constitution and that we should respect. And the courage to say no when I have to say no because that's the right answer. That's the kind of leadership you're going to get from me in the Congress. And I'm Spence Campbell, and I need your vote. Thank you.
Thank you for what has been a wonderful opportunity. Thank you for giving us part of your day. I'll make a contract with you. I will not betray it. I will do 5 things. I will fight waste wherever I find it. I will look out for not only you, but more importantly, our children and our grandchildren. I will function as an independent Republican. I will uphold consistently Republican principles. I will not be a part of a corrupt power structure. I will do the right thing. I will concentrate on something that I admire Congressman Taylor for immensely, and that is constituent service. He looked out for people. I have the heart, I believe the mind, although my wife might disagree, the spirit and the energy to take on Heath Shuler and beat him. I hope I'll earn your support going forward. I promise you, if I do, I will not betray you in Washington.